Are you ready? You think you can tell us what to do? You think you can tell us what to wear? You think that you're better? Well, you better get ready. Bow to the masters. Break it down!
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Retro Lim proudly brings to the thousands in attendance and to the millions watching at home, let's get ready to suck it!
Suck it! Welcome to the podcast, the Suck It podcast, episode 2 with JL76
Well done there, John.
and Novabug. We're recording this late at night once again, hence I'm tired.
They're always going to be recorded like this.
Yes, I know, that's fun. The Suck It Wrestling Podcast, episode 2. Yes. And yes, the first one went well. It was quite a big edit, but I was pleased with how it worked out.
We're going to try and keep it shorter this time.
Yes, well, I think that's the thing when you do kind of like a pilot, if you like, like a first episode, it's always going to go on a little bit longer. Just while we find our feet, but I think
teething problems.
Yes, we'll try and sit to an hour this time. So
yes, so shall we crack straight into it? Or
yes, we've got the usual roundup of the latest draw.
Well, our predictions on Fastlane, for instance, were all wrong, weren't they?
Well, some of them were right, were they not? I'm sure you called one of them.
I called Charlotte winning.
Yes. You also called. Did you not?
I think you called Roman winning.
Yes, I did.
But I didn't want that to happen, and neither did the WWE Universe or bloody nearly anyone.
I don't want to boast or anything, Chris, but suck it.
And
I'm sure. Did you not predict the Alberto Del Rio one?
Yeah, I said Kalisto. Yeah, but that was the pre-show match. Yeah, I said Kalisto would retain, and he did.
Yeah.
So, yeah, and the very excellent. There was a couple of good matches, but for me, the whole event was. I think a lot of people have said this sentiment. The whole thing was basically let down by the finish.
Yeah, I thought it was a good match. I know your opinions on it. We were commenting.
I was very vocal about it, wasn't I?
We myself, Chris, sorry, Novabug, kayfabe and all that. Myself, Novabug, and Mr. Retro Lim himself. Novabug was none too happy with the outcome.
No, I wasn't. I was so frustrated with WWE. I really, because there was an opportunity there to do something really good. And they haven't done it. And, a couple of Raws have passed since then. And they've obviously gone down another route where they've injured Roman at the hands of the game.
Yeah.
Everyone's favourite heel. My favourite heel, anyway. I'm just a big Triple H fan. I always have been. So, heel or whatever.
Oh, yeah.
It just helps that he's beating on Roman Reigns. Yeah. We're bad guy fans, aren't we? Really?
Yeah. I know you're going to... You're not going to like me saying this, but I still think that Reigns against Triple H is the right decision.
Why?
I do, because I think it's just. I think there's still. I know you said you thought it was settled in the Royal Rumble, but I still think there's the bad blood carrying over from when Roman beat up Triple H before
at TLC.
Yeah, so.
Yeah, but I haven't got a problem with that because at that point, Roman was starting to get over.
Yeah.
But then the very next Raw, it all went again.
Yeah.
So, and we've been seeing every time Triple H comes out, he's getting the cheers.
Yeah.
And he was cheering. He was being cheered as he was beating the crap out of Reigns. And then, of course, you got the bad sort of Byron Saxton mistake when he passing in the blood packet. As well.
Yeah, Joe. I didn't actually see it.
It was on a different camera angle.
Right.
It wasn't on the broadcast one. But I don't know. The crowd are just not ready for Roman to be the face of the company. You can see why, because they've all put their support behind Ambrose.
Yeah.
And this is going right up to date. I mean, last night's Raw, for instance. going right up to date. I know we're skipping a few things here, but you can see why they brought out Ambrose to sort of deviate from the Brock Lesnar thing to go have a go at Triple H, because it puts massive heat on Triple H, and that's what he wants.
Do you think that they've set up this Triple H against Ambrose thing to try and appease the crowd? Because get them back on
Mate,
so we're giving you Ambrose against Triple H.
Oh yeah, that's probably part of the reason. But it's always going to be easier to accept a match like that because Triple H as a heel character, Triple H wants to be hated, and he was getting cheered. So the best thing to do is to have a go at the most popular man, active man on the roster, and that's Ambrose.
Yeah.
There is no other. Obviously you got legends like Brock Lesnar and Taker, but they're different. When you got properly active wrestlers like Ambrose, who is getting cheered every time he comes out.
Yeah.
And we know because he's the never give up, the lunatic, I'm going to do anything kind of thing. He's very along the line. Well, we said this in the last podcast. He's very along the lines of Mick Foley meets Stone Cold kind of thing.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's been bold since that Stone Cold.
Yeah. So it's good that it's clever by the writers and Triple H that they've done that, because it was probably Hunter that came up with that in the first place because he wants to get the heat on him. But unfortunately, I don't think it's still going to get Roman over.
No, see, I would agree with you on that, because I think Roman's just becoming the same way as John Cena. And John Cena's the biggest face ever, but the crowd hate him. Well, a lot of the crowd hate him.
50-50 kind of thing, isn't it?
Yeah, and I can see that happening with Roman. I don't see him ever getting on set.
So what was your sum up of Fastlane then?
Well, I thought it was a good event. I think there's a couple of poor matches. I thought there was some really good matches. I'm just trying to think the good matches.
Well, I thought the finish to the Divas match was a bit botched.
Yes.
That seemed to be a bit weird.
But I thought the one that surprised me the most was the one on paper you thought this is going to be dull, but I actually really enjoyed the Kane Big Show.
That was surprisingly good.
That was a surprisingly good match.
Surprisingly good. Yeah, Ryback looked great.
Yeah.
And you can see what they're doing with him.
Yeah, they're turning him heel again, aren't they?
Oh, he's very close to turning heel again. Very close.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're looking for someone to go against the Intercontinental Championship at WrestleMania, then they could build Ryback to be that. But the thing is, if they're going to turn him heel, then it's going to be heel versus heel, unless Owens drops the belt again.
Yeah.
So I'm not sure what they're doing with the Intercontinental belt. It seems to have gone stagnant a bit.
Yeah, Kevin Owens is still holding the belt. I'm pretty sure they're going to go with Owens against Ryback at the WrestleMania.
Yeah. But they can't. If they do that, I mean, obviously they're not going to turn Owens because he's a great heel.
Yeah.
So I can't see they're going to make Ryback obviously a lot more aggressive. But I don't think they're going to do a full heel turn on him.
But then again,
who else?
Dolph Ziggler and Miz are competing, aren't they?
Yeah, that's come out of nowhere, isn't it?
Yeah, because the Miz got a brilliant victory over Dolph Ziggler, like a really easy victory over Dolph Ziggler on Raw on Monday night.
Yeah.
It's like I don't know where that's. I think they're just trying to kind of maybe rebuild the Miz's reputation. So perhaps it's going to be a triple threat, like with the Miz, Dolph Ziggler, Kevin Owens, perhaps.
Yeah, we just break for a second and just say to the listeners that you might be listening to this on the Friday night, so SmackDown has aired since then. So we haven't seen SmackDown yet because we're recording this before SmackDown. So we don't know anything that's happened at SmackDown because there's a tag? There's a rematch, of course, the rematch between Sasha and Becky.
Yeah, because that ended in a
double pin.
Yeah, I thought.
It doesn't happen often, a double pin, but it happened last week in NXT.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, a double pin, and then it happened on the main roster as well.
Maybe that's a new buzz thing, double pins.
It was very predictable. I could see it because they're clearly setting it up for a triple threat.
Yeah.
At WrestleMania, that's what we all want to see.
Yeah.
And Sasha or Becky take the belt. I'll be happy with either of them.
Yeah. But I thought just to sum up Fastlane, I thought it was a bit, average as a pay-per-view.
Yeah, it was definitely average.
But I did enjoy. I know you didn't enjoy the end result, but I did enjoy the main event. I thought it was good.
Oh, I thought it was a good match. I liked the double teaming with onto Lesnar. That was
That was
great.
great. Yep.
I liked Lesnar at the beginning, dominating both of them. That was great.
Yep.
Yeah, I liked all that. The match itself was pretty good and enjoyable, but it's just I didn't like the end, and the reason why I didn't like, not only because Roman won. I mean, I haven't got a personal problem with Roman Reigns. I think he's a good performer, not great on the mic. He's a good performer in ring, and yeah, he deserves a spot, but not top face yet.
Yeah.
Maybe in the future, possibly, but not now. Yeah. And the fact that if you break down that finish. So Lesnar's out, obviously sleeping, but Dean comes in and smacks Lesnar twice with a chair, and lays him out. He then smacks Reigns twice with a chair and lays him out. Yeah, and then he turns around and then Reigns spears him. But hang on a minute, you're not selling the chair shots at all. That's what pissed me off.
So you've got a problem with the way they've done it rather than Reigns weren't actually winning.
Well, yeah, because it was silly. It was a stupid way of doing it because Reigns has taken a beating like all of them have. He takes 2 chair shots and then all of a sudden gets up, spear, bang, wins. And it was bad. It was poor. I didn't want to see that. If Ambrose come in and go a minute with a chair, then you're expecting Ambrose to hit a dirty deeds. Yeah. Job done.
Yeah, there's so much happening. I mean, that's when the Raw after Fastlane was just immense.
Oh well, yeah, we'll go. We'll stop talking about Reigns now, I think, and we'll go to that Raw. Yes, you're amazing.
You know what I'm going to say?
The start.
I wasn't totally surprised when Shane McMahon came out. I'd heard rumours a few months ago that he was coming back, but I just didn't expect him at that particular moment.
Yeah.
And I certainly didn't expect the announcement for the match.
I've got a story about that because I wasn't watching that Raw live.
Right.
I was actually travelling home at the time.
Right.
So I was at Gordano Services near Bristol, and I looked down at my phone and Steve's on the phone, and he says, "Oh my fucking god, Shane O'Mac's back." I said, "You're taking the piss." And then he tells me that he's been put in a match against Taker in a Hell in a Cell, and I'm like, "You're winding me up. You got to be winding me. That's insane."
Yep.
Apart from the fact that it's completely surprising, it also doesn't make no sense. But we'll break that down in a minute.
And then I came into a conversation and backed him up and told you he was telling the truth.
Yeah, he had to. I couldn't believe it. And then when I got home, I'd already set Raw to record at home. So I watched Raw the next day, and I thought, blimey. Yeah. And the pop Shane got, though, was amazing, wasn't it?
It was just, I mean, the crowd went absolutely mental for him.
I haven't heard a pop like that for a long time.
Quite right. I mean, the guy's a legend. I've actually watched a couple of Shane O'Mac's matches ever since he came back.
Yeah.
Because I've not watched him for so many years. And, some of the stuff that he did. I was watching, it was him against Kurt Angle.
Yeah.
I think it was one of the kind of runnings. And Kurt Angle had already taken part in 2 matches that night. And
is this the King of the Ring, was it?
Yeah.
Oh, through the glass panes.
Yeah.
That's mental, isn't it?
It's, absolutely.
The bumps he's taking.
Yeah.
Because the glass wouldn't smash.
Yeah.
And the second one, if you look at that, right, it's brilliant. Because when they've gone through the first one, and Angle's trying to belly to belly him through the second one, back out into the arena. And he does it 3 times, and it doesn't break. And each time Shane falls on his head. And at that point, you just see this glance in Angle's face, and he's like, bollocks to this. He picks Shane up and just chucks him through it.
I actually missed Kurt Angle being in the WWE. Bring him back.
Yeah, well, there were rumours that he's either going to retire or just make a quick return to WWF. WWE, excuse me. Don't know.
Wash your mouth out.
Yes, I'm talking about the World Wildlife Federation.
Of course, yes. but sorry.
Oh no, you go.
What do you make of this match, though? The Undertaker versus Shane O'Mac.
It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah, I agree. What was the sense in this?
Well, you can clearly see this is this is a what the hell are we going to do with Taker thing.
Yeah.
But maybe they already do know. Maybe, again, they're just pulling the wool over our eyes. Because they've left it so ambiguous, especially with last night's Raw.
Yeah.
Everyone's expecting Taker to say something groundbreaking. Now, we know that in character, he's a man of few words. We know that. So we don't expect him to, turn up and break out a speech in ambonic pentameter. But, yeah, the fact that he just walks in, grabs Vince by the throat, and says, the blood will be on your hands, not mine, and then pisses off.
Yeah.
I think that segment was more to do with Vince than Taker.
Yeah.
Because you're looking at the way Vince is selling the ring, yeah? Mm-hmm. His reactions, his sort of nervousness.
Yeah.
He's clearly, obviously, shitting himself from Taker. Mm-hmm. And then he's also thinking about, shit, what am I doing to my son here?
Yeah.
So I think, look, we've got 4 Raws, and of course you said another pay-per-view to go before WrestleMania, and 5 SmackDowns. So we've got a lot of shows to get through before we've actually got to WrestleMania. So a lot can change. A lot can change in one show.
Yeah.
So we've got plenty of things to change. And I know they keep flashing up the graphics of the match, but I don't think it's going to be exactly what we think it's going to be.
So you think there's more? There's going to be more to.
There's going to be more to it. Yeah.
To it being simply a Hell in a Cell, Shane McMahon against Undertaker.
Well, there's lots of possibilities. There's rumours of Goldberg coming back. I mean, Taker could abstain from the whole thing and just say, "I'm not doing this." I mean, he's basically saying by telling Vince, by saying the blood will be on your hands. He's basically saying, "Well, I'm not working for you. Yeah. I'm not doing your bidding. I'm just doing a match. I'm doing my speciality."
What I think is going to happen, and I don't know exactly the details yet, but I think Shane McMahon's got something up his sleeve.
We'll find out next Raw, because he's on the next Raw.
Cool, but I think he's got somebody, and I think whoever it is going to come out from the ring. It's going to rip through the ring, like what's happened before.
Yeah.
In Hell in a Cells, I don't know who's going to come through. Be it Kane, perhaps?
Oh, no, I'm not sure about Kane. What, against Taker?
Kane's got history for coming through the ring.
I know, but why would he suddenly turn on his brother again? We've seen that so many times. And remember, this is possibly Taker's last WrestleMania. It might be. Yeah. Rumours are going that it won't be. They are saying he might do another. But he's close to retirement. So, and he's going to be, I know that for a fact that this actually, it probably won't be his retirement because he's already booked on the WrestleMania Revenge Tour of Britain.
Oh, well.
Yeah. So he'll be touring here in April.
Could it be that Taker hates Vince and Taker might just let Shane run?
What, takes a fall?
Yeah.
You see, I heard this on another podcast, and I heard that. I thought, oh my, really? In Texas? Lay down in Texas? What? Taker? At WrestleMania? None of that makes sense, really, to me. I mean, it would be a shocking thing if he did.
Yeah, no, but you're right. It doesn't make sense, but the match doesn't make sense. So,
but this is why I don't think it's going to stick as it is. This is why I think it's going to change. And like I said, we've got nearly 20 hours of programming to get through before we've even got to WrestleMania. You know,
because I mean it's
intriguing. I tell you what, it has done. It's got me very interested.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think that's one thing it has done. And another thing I've noticed as well, obviously Triple H is being a lot more active in the ring lately. Mm-hmm. He's put himself in a match before WrestleMania, so he's going to be wrestling before WrestleMania. Probably maybe even more than once. But also, the ranty speech from Stephanie when she came out. Yeah. Did you spot the little clues?
Don't know if I did.
Right, she makes references. She makes references to Shane having sons, the heirs to WWE, right?
Yes, I remember that.
She then says, "Oh, you've forgotten about my daughters then, because they're going to fight for control of the company in the future."
Right.
She then takes the award, with a little bit of a tear in, obviously a fake tear in a crocodile tear in her eye. But she takes the award and she cradles the award like a baby. I think in reality Stephanie might be pregnant.
What, for real?
For real. Kayfabe? And no, for real. And they'll draw it into kayfabe, but not as pregnancy, as her taking a leave from the company. I.e., Shane wins somehow, takes control of Raw. Stephanie then can take a sabbatical in storyline.
And I suppose that that is quite clever. That's used to be a detective. That is quite plausible.
So it could happen, and there are clues to say that might be happening. Apart from Stephanie behaving the way she is, as well as Vince. When he's doing his speech when Taker comes out, before Taker comes out, he's talking about. He talks after as well about if Shane wins. My daughter and my son-in-law will leave the company.
Yes.
Well, obviously Triple H's not going to leave because he's got NXT to take care of. But the chances are, I mean, this is the way I read it, that Stephanie can then go on maternity leave or whatever, and she doesn't need, and that's written into story, so she doesn't have to explain herself in reality. And then after Triple H's matches with whoever at WrestleMania, Roman Reigns clearly, then he can just again take a back seat and carry on with the NXT stuff.
Yeah,
and the Authority are written out.
Yeah.
Bingo.
Ooh, I like it.
It's a possibility. Sorry, excuse me.
Oh well, if you listen to this, please feel free to put your comments. Do you think?
Yes, please do. Yes.
Is Novabug onto something here? Is it?
Maybe I might be. It's just something I've read into it. Maybe I'm reading a little bit too deep, to be honest. But there we go.
Yeah.
What I'm also liking, I tell you what, also I'm liking is the Jericho AJ Styles team up.
Yeah, Y2AJ.
Yes, I like that. Yes. I like that a lot. Because ever since AJ came in, and instant fan. I think he's rather fantastic actually. He's got a great moveset, and it looks so good, and he's so energetic in the ring. Really good. And put him with Jericho is always an entertainer.
Yeah.
And the fact that Jericho can still do all his classic moves as well, I'm really impressed by that.
Yeah.
All the the turnbuckle bounce, drop kick,
the lion salt,
the leap over the top rope. Yeah. All of Jericho's classic moves. I think is a great team. And to be honest, I would really like to see them as tag champions.
Well, they've got a title match next week.
They have, yes, at Raw against the New Day.
What I don't want to see, which we probably will see because WWE bookers are guilty of this, they'll have that match next week, and then they'll have it again, and then they'll have it again. They'll just have the same match over and over again. Now, I don't like New Day, and don't get me wrong, if they lose next week to AJ,
I don't think they will.
But if they do, they deserve a rematch. Fine.
Yeah, they beat them on Raw.
Do it at new pay-per-view. I don't want to see that same match over and over again.
No, that's true. I don't want to see it like that. Yeah, I mean, but remember, you've got other factions that can come into the tag route. There's no reason why they can't bring League of Nations into it. Mm-hmm. If they're going to become, I mean, they're a weak group. Well, not physically weak, but they're a weak group with the crowd, aren't they? As League of Nations.
Yeah.
So, they need a title to sort of strengthen them.
Yeah.
Because when they were formed, if you remember when they were formed a couple of months back, Sheamus was champion and Del Rio was US champion. So they had titles.
Yeah, and you thought, this is going to be huge.
So they were a lot stronger then.
Yeah.
And when you look back at all factions, the faction is always stronger when they have a title.
Yeah.
I mean, look, Evolution is a great example. Because I think at one point Evolution had every belt.
That's right. Yeah. Orton and Batista were tag team champions. I think Ric Flair had the Intercontinental, and Triple H was his champ. Yeah.
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 So, and that was great at the time.
Yeah.
So anyway, but they could come into it. You've still got the Lucha Dragons and the Usos, and there's loads of time and stuff to sort that out. But I would like to see Y2AJ with the titles.
Yeah, it could be that they lose on next Raw, and then end up just maybe having a tag team tournament and the Raws leading up to it, and then they end up winning that, and then the same against New Day again for the WrestleMania.
I want them to. I mean, they need to set up. They also need to set up a second Divas match for WrestleMania.
Yeah.
So I mean, you've got a lot of talent to use there.
Yeah.
I mean, you're looking at obviously Becky, Sasha, Charlotte involved in the title, but then you've got Team Bad. You've got they've just. I mean, in recent times Naomi's been doing the business. I mean, on everyone. She's beaten Paige. She's super kicked Natalia, Brie as well, and then now Lana's coming into it. Strangely.
Yeah, and you've got Paige herself.
Yeah, I mean, have you ever seen Lana wrestle?
I think they'll probably have a battle. See, when it comes to WrestleMania, I know we're getting ahead of ourselves here, but
Yeah.
I think when it comes to WrestleMania, they usually like to use most of the rosters.
Yeah.
I think they like to get everybody involved, so I think they might have a battle royal with all the other teams.
Well, you know what? I wouldn't mind a Divas pre-show battle royal.
Yeah.
That'd be quite nice.
Yeah, and remember the other thing they usually do at WrestleMania, or they have done for the last couple of years, is the Andre the Giant Memorial Trophy. So that'll get a lot more people involved as well.
Yeah. Well, you know what they could do? Because Bree's hinted at retiring, isn't she?
Yeah.
So they could have a battle royal, and Bree wins it and retires. That's not too bad an idea, is it?
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you have Natalia, Paige, Summer Rae, Lana, Brie, Team Bad. Well, you couldn't have both a Team Bad because they wouldn't fight each other.
Yeah, but you can still have them both in it.
Yeah, but you need to chuck someone else in there. They could debut Bailey. That'd be nice.
Yeah.
I don't think they would. I think they'll wait. They'll probably debut Bailey Raw after WrestleMania. We really are getting ahead of ourselves here. We should go back.
We'll go back because there is actually a brand new pay-per-view. We should maybe.
You just literally told me about this before we went on air.
Yeah, it's called WWE Roadblock, and it's coming up on March the 12th. And we may as well talk about it here because it is going to be before our next podcast. So it's because it's in 12 days' time, and we do it fortnightly. So
yeah, well, we try to do it fortnightly.
We may as well cover it. There's not a lot to cover with it yet, but I'll just go over briefly. Obviously,
the card.
Yeah, or what's rumoured to be the card. Obviously, you've got the Triple H against Ambrose as the main event for the title match.
Triple H will win.
Yeah, and I did have this page off a minute ago. Need to find it again. WWE.
Jericho.
Jericho. Highlight. There's going to be a highlight reel. If I can see that.
I was doing a highlight reel, yeah. We've got Roman against Sheamus again.
Roman against Sheamus, yep. We've got here we go. Now, remember, these are all just rumours. This is coming off the official website of the Ricoh Coliseum, which is in Toronto, which is where the event is, and they're advertising it as Roman Reigns against Sheamus, the highlight reel with Chris Jericho, Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman versus Luke Harper with Bray Wyatt, and other talents been advertised, including the New Day, the Miz, the Usos, Paige, and Brie Bella.
Oh, Paige is going to be on it. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Good.
The WWE Network. This is a WWE Network exclusive, so I believe it's network only, and so you won't get it in the likes of Sky Sports or Sky Sports Box Office.
Right. Well, we'll have to check that out, obviously, when it comes around. So like summing up last couple of weeks, Fastlane disappointed with the outcome. Thought they could have done a lot more with it. Some of the matches were strong. I did like the fact, I didn't mention this, I did like the fact they opened with a Divas match.
You did or you didn't? Sorry.
I know I did. I like that. They don't do that often.
They don't.
And then the girls did well.
And quite often, to be honest with you, they don't have one Divas match anyway, so it's nice, to have two.
Well, I've noticed recently they have been chucking 2 Divas matches in Raws.
Yeah.
Which is something I suggested actually about over a month ago on another forum. I wanted to see at least. I mean, they've got a lot of girls, a lot of women.
Yeah.
So why not use them? Because they're short in some of the high-profile men. So use the women.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, I'm starting to get into Divas a little bit, but I find it hard to get excited about them. But I'm trying.
Oh, I find it easy to get excited about them.
Oh no, don't get me wrong. Don't get me wrong. Let me rephrase that. I get excited about them, but not about the matches.
Hey, look, when Paige and Natalia came back from injury, I was really excited.
Yeah, I do like Natalia.
Oh yes,
Yeah, but
yes.
yeah,
Good job, Jim. Good job.
yes. I would rather watch a Divas match than watch like what was it we had?
I'd rather watch a Divas match than the Wyatts.
Yeah, no,
They bore me now.
like you know, Adam Rose against bloody.
Oh, the Social Outcasts.
Yeah, I'd rather watch that than Adam Rose. Don't get, I quite like Adam Rose as a character, but he's a shit wrestler.
My favourite character, if you're talking about the Social Outcast, my favourite character is actually Bo Dallas.
Yeah,
I think he's
I'm
hilarious.
yeah, I used to just hate on it. Oh, you've got to love each other, but actually, it's starting to grow me a little bit.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I like it. It's funny because you can see traits of his brother in him, which is, by the way, if no one knows, that's Bray Wyatt.
of course.
Yeah, and you can also traits of his father in him, and that is Erwin R. Shyster.
Indeed, yes. It's
So
funny. It's funny how these you always get these kind of setting it for generations coming through.
yeah,
Because you've got the Usos whose dad's Rikishi.
well, yeah, well, yeah, it was. I think it was Raw 999 year ago when he came out, Rikishi, and beat Heath Slater up. Came out and danced with Jimmy and Jay. It was great. Good moment.
Yeah, do you know, I was watching through. We're going to talk soon about this week's match. This fortnight's highlighted
Now
match.
shall we move on to the featured match now?
Yeah, we'll do it. It's good. That's a good link.
I think we're done for the current stuff.
Yeah.
So this week.
That was a good link actually because I was watching through this particular pay-per-view to find the match I'm going to talk about, and Rikishi came on at the start, and Tuchel. It was Rikishi and Tuchel against who was it up against?
Was it the Hollies?
No, it was Right to Censor.
Oh, was that when Right to Censor started around?
Yeah, the good father and Stephen Richards, not Retro One,
And Val Venus.
No, Val Venus wasn't in them yet.
I'd Ivory joined them.
Yeah, oh no, I can't remember what kind of it's. In fact, I do. It was kind of around 2000.
So because you had I guess when they came in, it was so annoying because it was just like a siren, wasn't it?
Yeah.
So you had, Stephen Richards was the leader, and you had Ivory, Godfather, the Good Father, and then Val Venus. So all these reformed people.
Yeah, but at this point, at this particular pay-per-view, it was just three. It was Stephen Richards, Goodfather, and Bill Buchanan.
Oh yes, of course, Bull Buchanan was in it as well. Yes, there was five of them. Yeah,
and actually, there's a backstage segment. It was just either before or after this match with Val Venus, and he was hanging about with Trish Stratus. So he was doing his whole sexy, whatever it is.
Oh, and that's when they, of course, first. Trish was brand new to it then.
Yeah, so he was into Continental Cup champion at this point. Anyway, the reason we'll get to the match is going to be. We'll talk about it in a minute. The match is going to be the TLC between the Dudleys, Edge and Christian, and the Hardys.
The first ever.
Yeah, but it's just we were talking about Rikishi there. They just Rikishi and Tuchel come on to fight Right to Censor. And I missed that tune and the whole fun
the dance
they brought to it, and the Scotty 2 Hotty doing the worm. I loved those days. You know, they were a brilliant team.
And Jerry the King's son, of course, Grandmaster Sexay. That's Jerry Lawler's son. They were fun. They were fun. Too cool. They were fun.
Yeah, talking about Jerry Lawler, and I'm going off on a tangent here again, but just so you means
we always do.
I know. I don't know why I was looking this up or how I came across it, but I found something on YouTube, and it was Kevin Owens against Jerry the King Lawler, believe it or not, and it was like obviously some independent thing, and I thought this was in 2012, maybe 2013. It was after Jerry had his heart attack, like a year after.
He still wrestles now and then.
I thought to myself, are you mad? You're having a heart attack and you're fighting Kevin Owens?
He's still now and then. Does Jerry? Not often, but sometimes, yeah.
Yeah, but anyway, sorry, I did diverse, that's not the right word. I did go off the beaten track there. But the match, the reason I chose this match is because these were, in my opinion, to this day, and it's arguably, you could probably put a case for somebody else if you like, but the three best tag teams of all time, I think, were in this
No, I
match.
agree.
Yeah.
I agree. Well, I would add another tag team to that, but they were not in the same. Sorry.
What team would you add in?
Well, I would add obviously Legion of Doom,
Of course, yeah.
but
It's a
they're
different
not in
era,
the
isn't it?
same era.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
if you're going by legendary tag teams, two tag teams, it was them three amazing. They had a great chemistry together, the three of them.
Yeah, it was they knew each other so well, and I think
Yeah.
you could put an argument towards the likes of Legion of Doom, but to me, I just think these three teams took it to a new level. New level
Yeah, well,
of
they did
hardcore.
because all three of them, all six of them, individuals.
Yeah,
Maybe not Christian so much, but definitely all three of them. Jeff, Bubba, Jeff and Bubba and Edge, particularly lunatics
I
in
think
the
you could.
ring.
Yeah, I think you could take. You're saying they're all individuals, but I think you could probably take one out of each team and say he was the standout. And for it
Oh
was
yeah, but like I've just
Edge,
said,
Bubba, and Jeff.
an Edge, yeah,
Yeah, but
yeah.
they come out. So this is the first ever TLC match, and I'm sure it was a Mick Foley initiative because Mick Foley was the commissioner at the time.
Yeah, it was on the
Yeah,
back of his so-called firing, wasn't it?
yeah,
A so-called retirement match when he lost against Triple H in the Hell in a Cell
yeah,
as Cactus Jack, and then
yeah.
he became commissioner after WrestleMania, didn't they?
Indeed, yeah. And they're advertising it as tables, ladders, and chairs. Oh my!
Yeah,
Do you remember that?
yeah. Oh,
That's
oh
class.
dear, mad. Because at that build up of that, we were treated to the Dudleys basically going crazy on everyone.
Yeah,
They were putting women through tables and shit, and
yeah,
Mae Young.
yeah.
They put Mae Young through a table.
Oh no, that was
Oh,
mental.
oh God! I mean, terrible, really, when you think about it. But
Yeah, the reason
um,
this came about really is because individually each team had a speciality. So you had Devon and Bubba, where they get the tables, so they were the table guys.
yeah,
You had Ez and Christian, they had their concerto. So
yeah.
they were the chair guys, and obviously the Hardys were known for their ladder matches. So the
Well,
boys
yeah,
were
well,
often
they
together.
had that brilliant. They had a brilliant ladder match, and I think one of the first ladder matches I had was with Edge and Christian, wasn't it?
Yeah,
And it
that
was
was
an
awesome. Yeah.
excellent match. And I think was it one of those instances where they broke kayfabe in ring?
Oh, I don't know if I could confirm that or
I
not.
think it was after,
Yeah,
because they were both face teams at the time.
yeah,
So they're both babyface teams, and I think it was after the next Raw, next SmackDown or something.
yeah.
They came out and they shook each other's hands and hugged and everything because they thought, and they got adulation from the crowd about how good that match was.
Yeah,
So it's a
absolutely.
slight break of kayfabe.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. But this one was just amazing. I was watching it last night actually, and
What were some of the spots in it? You
no,
have to refresh
okay,
my
I'll go
memory.
through. Yeah, I'll go. Basically, what happened is they were outdoing each other. First
Yeah.
of all, right, you had I can't remember if it was the
Well,
Dudleys.
you've got the Dudleys coming into this as heels, haven't you?
Yeah, I'm
And
trying.
you've got the Hardys as the baby faces.
Yeah,
And are Edge and Christian heels or faces at this point?
I think
I
they're
think they're
still
faces still.
no. I think they're heels.
They're heels at that
Yeah,
point.
they're heels because later on in the match, Lita came out, and Lita was with the Hardys at this point, and Ed speared Lita.
Ah, right. Okay. Yeah,
So they were
they
definitely
were.
heels.
Yeah.
But they were trying to do. I can't remember who put who through the tables, right? But basically, they're outdoing each other. The first thing that obviously there was back and forth in the match, hitting each other with chairs and hitting each other with ladders. But in obviously, Bob was like, Devon, get the tables. So all the tables get stacked up at each side of the ring. And the first one that happens is Jeff Hardy gets thrown through two tables.
Yeah.
Jeff Hardy gets thrown through two tables, and he's just lay there. He's not moved. And then I think it's a member from each from the Amazing Christian and a member from the Dudley Boys that get to the top of the ladder, and they get shoved off, and then two of them go through four tables. so, and then,
Mad.
and then it goes to I think it's one of the Hardys, I think it's Matt this time goes up to the top of the ladder and he gets shoved off. He gets through 6 tables. So they're just outdoing each other.
Crazy.
I know it's it. And then of course Elliot comes out to try and help. I think she tried to climb up the ladder at one point. And then she came out and then that's when Matt fell off. So she's coming out. She's basically come back off the ladder, out the ring to try and help Matt. And then Edge comes to and then just spears her.
It was it certainly set the standard for crazy spots, didn't it?
Yeah. And I think at that point Jeff had came to, and
oh yeah, I mean that was the point where they started calling his move the Swanton Bomb.
Yeah,
as well, because they were calling it a Senton Bomb before that.
That's right. Yeah, and I think,
and then
sorry.
Yeah, and they also of course named the neckbreaker they do, the Twisted Neckbreaker.
Or Wind in the Willows or something like that.
Well, no, Twist of Fate.
Twist of Fate, sorry.
Yeah, because before that, it didn't have a name.
Yeah, that's right.
They named it, and of course, Edge and Christian came up with the Concerto finisher.
Yeah, that was a brilliant move.
Wouldn't be allowed now. It's headshot.
I remember at one point the not the highlight, but I guess the funniest part is I think it's Edge. I think Edge and Christian both get to the top of the ladder at one point, and somebody shoves the ladder, and they both from land balls first onto the rope. So both like that. But ultimately, I think it's after Matt gets through the 6 tables, and later goes to help him and gets speared. I think at that point, Edge and Christian both climb back up the ladders and they get the titles.
Yeah, they won them both, didn't they?
They did.
Because they won TLC 2 as well. If I remember correctly.
My memory's not as good.
I'm sure they did. I think they did. Because I think when TLC... I might be wrong on this, but I think when TLC 2 came around, Team Extreme were really established by that point.
Yeah.
So Lita was really entrenched with them. And I think the Dudleys had actually turned face by that point as well.
Yeah.
So I remember at that point, the Edge and Christian being really hated. At that point, especially Edge. Yeah. But yeah, the first match really set a bar, didn't it?
Yeah. In fact, what I'll say about that is this TLC match that really was catalyst for creating obviously the TLC pay-per-view eventually.
Yeah.
So
eventually, yeah.
But
it was probably the most extreme I'd seen it since the King of the Ring. The match we talked about last time.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen a lot of really dangerous spots, of course, up until that point, and lots of Claret doing the rounds and stuff. But that match really did go epic.
Yeah, of course, I'm saying it's kind of into it. Was SummerSlam 2000? I beg your pardon.
I know, it was SummerSlam, wasn't it? Yeah.
I think I called it kind of in 2000. I meant SummerSlam 2000. But there's a good part during this as well where Jeff Hardy, I can't remember, I think it was Jeff Hardy and one of the Hardys had climbed up. They'd both got hold of the belt, and then somebody kicked the ladder away, and they're both hanging just from the belts. And eventually they both fell off. That's quite funny.
Which they did again in the second one, when Edge famously spears Jeff off the belt.
Yeah.
Yeah, madness.
I would love to see tag team wrestling go back to that level again.
There's no reason why they couldn't.
Yeah.
The only thing that they would do, obviously, would just take the headshots out.
Yeah.
There's no reason why they couldn't do some of the spots that they did then. I mean, you've got people that are willing to do spots like that nowadays. You've got, obviously, the Luchos.
Yeah.
People like Owens and Ambrose are prepared to do stuff like that. Mm-hmm. And obviously the Dudleys are still there, and they're still prepared to do stuff like that.
Shane O'Mac's back as well.
Oh, sure. Yes. I quote someone that said this on a YouTube video last week. They described Shane as a hired stuntman, not a wrestler, which I thought was a bit unfair.
I think to set the a lot of the wrestlers have got stuntman tendencies, you know.
Yeah.
They have to have.
Excuse me.
Look at Rikishi. Talking about Rikishi, remember the Hell in the Cell he was in, and he gets shoved off the top and all that.
Yeah. That was epic. That was a surprise. That one, didn't see that coming. And not a man that size.
No. But
doing that.
The thing is with that, I remember that truck was full of straw, so there must have been some sort of padding there.
Yeah, it was like a leap of faith from Assassin's Creed.
Yeah, I know. But I mean, that was dangerous because the fact that it fell backwards as well. I mean, anything could have happened. So
Yeah. Well, I think you could clearly see that Rikishi and Taker had rehearsed that.
yeah,
because Taker doesn't pick him up for starters.
no.
He just it looks like a choke slam, but he's not actually choke slam. He's pushing him by the neck, so it's a controlled fall. But it's bloody brave to do it.
Oh, absolutely,
Unbelievably brave. That was great, Hell in a Cell. That
it was. Anyway, we'll go for a tangent again. That was my match for this week. I just thought it was a great match. I just love matches with all that kind of action in it and weapons, you know. So
yes. What I want to think what everyone else says in the comments about that match. What do they think about that match?
yes, and that would lead us to
Final segment, is
to a
it?
legend, yeah, to a WWE legend who this week is of your choosing. So I'll let you introduce it. Yeah.
Yeah, I will. I'll give you. I'm not going to drop his name straight away, but I'm going to give you a quick build up. When I first started watching the WWF, as it was known, which was very late 80s, early 90s, we still had the likes of Hogan and Warrior and stuff in it. And this guy was a face at the time, and I didn't know that previously he was a heel, and quite a prominent heel as well. I actually went back and watched Survivor Series 1988 when he was part of a group called the Twin Towers with the big guy Akeem, who were feuding with Hogan and Savage at the time, who called themselves the Mega Powers. So I always knew him as a face, and during that time I went to SummerSlam '92. In Wembley. I actually attended that event and watched him in the flesh. Well, no, he wasn't in the flesh. I thought he was going to be. I say Virgil came out in the end to fight Nails because it was apparently this guy had been injured by him, and everyone's probably already guessed who I'm talking about, and that is the Big Boss Man.
Yes, the Big Boss Man,
Raymond Trailer.
Yeah, I can remember. To me, there's like two boss men because there's one that used to come out with the kind of blue shirt and all that, kind of like a co-op, and then there's the one that came out with the kind of pure security guard black vest outfit, much like the Shield.
Yeah, very similar to that. He kind of was split into two characters, but he was still the same sort of character.
Yeah.
I mean, he was in real life he was a prison guard, so that the character came from that when he initially started as a prison guard character, and he was managed by. Do you remember a Slick?
I remember the name.
The Slickster.
Slickster.
Yeah, you don't remember him?
You probably do. It's just
he was very high pitched. He used to team up with Bobby the Brain when they were doing the managing.
Right. I think.
So and he came in as a heel. Because he would handcuff opponents, sometimes mostly jobbers, to the bottom rope and beat them with nightsticks.
Yeah,
you see, that was his little trait, and then he got on a few feuds with Hogan and stuff and Savage, and then teamed with Akeem to make the Twin Towers. And then I think they even defeated the Rockers at one point, as well. So he was in with big names back then. And later on down the line, this is when I started watching him. He turned face because he turned against his manager, which was Slick, and he turned into a face. And this is the era that I followed him. I think it was from 1990 to 93. He was a face.
Yeah.
And that was up until the end of his initial contract. I remember him. Excuse me. I remember him in the '93 Rumble. And that was the last time I saw him for a while. And I didn't really think about it at the time because I was also watching WCW as well.
Yeah.
But that was the point when I sort of like stopped wrestling altogether and teenage years, all that kind of stuff. And when I returned to WWE, as it were, which was '97 kind of time, there he was again, back as a heel. Dressed in the bodyguard stuff like the Shield, and doing Vince's bidding as his bodyguard.
That's probably my abiding memories of him. I mean, I do remember him back in the day when his first.
He wear the blue shirt.
Yeah, but to me, the classic Bossman was those years. With his old Shield get up.
He had a lot of memorable moments in that second tenure with the WWE.
Yeah,
they were the more memorable moments. But he kept all his traits. He lost a lot of weight as well. Mm-hmm. He was very big when he was in his first tenure. He was very big and quite a fat fella. And when he returned, he was slimmed down a lot. He was still a big chap, but he slimmed down a lot. And he was a prominent heel as well. Yeah, really nasty stuff he did.
I really enjoyed his. He had feuds with. If we'll talk about this before we come on, we had feuds with. Hardcore Holly and Al Snow, which I thought were lived long in the memory.
Oh, the Al Snow one was the two feuds that were sometimes difficult to watch. Yeah, especially considering that I was a fan of him as well. And it's always difficult when you're a fan of a wrestler, to when they do something in heel character, which sort of like you think, oh, really, that's horrible. Yeah, and you kind of want to dislike them, but because you're a fan of them, you don't. So I've had the same sort of experiences with Undertaker and Triple H when they've done really heelish stuff, because I've always been a fan of both of them, and when they've done really heelish stuff like the Undertaker going to sacrifice Stephanie, and countless things Triple H has done. And I've always felt a bit uncomfortable. Am I really supporting these guys? Because I know it's all story and fun, but you kind of end up feeling a bit uncomfortable, don't you?
Oh yes.
And I think the Boss Man is probably the biggest one of them in a way. Not biggest wrestler, obviously, but the biggest one that made me feel ambivalent, especially with his Big Show feud. Because that was just nasty.
Tell the ladies and gentlemen just what you told me earlier on, because I'd forgotten about it.
This was on the back of the feud with Al Snow, and this is before Snow turned heel, because Snow turned heel after this in a loony way. But the Boss Man started a fight with him and kidnapped his dog, Pepper, and it was all to do with their dogs. It was something to do with their dog. Boss Man had attack dogs,
I remember something vaguely about.
They had an attack dog match.
Dogs in the ring. Yeah, I'm sure.
Which was silly. It was a cage match, a kennel match. A kennel match they called it.
I remember it. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, and so they had these Rottweilers on the outside, but these Rottweilers were really tame. So they didn't do anything. It was hilarious. But he ended up kidnapping the dog, killing the dog.
Oh dear.
In story, of course, everyone, and then serving it to Al Snow as a meal.
How did they think these things up?
Gross, really, isn't it?
Oh God.
And that ended. I think it ended with him burying. He retrieved the remains of this dog and ended up burying him. And then the Boss Man went and dug the grave up. Oh God, it was awful. And when you think that was really nasty of him, he then went on to this feud with Big Show, and he just basically took a dead dog and replaced the dead dog with a dead man in that storyline. And that was difficult to watch. Really difficult to watch. Yeah. So you got he started having a feud with the Big Show, and the first thing he did was I think he tricked the Big Show into telling him that his father had died of cancer. So bad.
That's just beyond sick, isn't it?
It was sick, and as a story, it's so sick. So they filmed this promo with Big Show crying and everything, but his father wasn't dead. In reality, Big Show's father had died many years ago. So in reality, so it wasn't nothing to do with reality. But they did all this thing, and then they dragged it out for a while. I mean, he was taking the piss of the Big Show. Oh, your father's dying, and all this awful stuff. And then in the story when his father did pass away for real, the Boss Man bloody invaded the funeral. attached his father's coffin to the back of his squad car and drove off down the bloody crematorium.
Could you imagine that happening? Oh, jeez. Oh.
Yeah. And I think there's this thing about the Big Show just clinging to the back of the squad cars. It's just no, he was on the coffin. That's right. The Big Show jumped on the coffin as it's being dragged away.
I'm going to have to look this up on YouTube. I probably did see it at the time, but like I said, my memory is shocking.
Oh, you got to check it out. And yeah, so for them really nasty storylines, he's very memorable for that. And it's a shame because after this, I think it was after the 2000 Royal Rumble where he did really well. I think he came in like 5 and lasted well into 20 minutes on that Rumble. That was the one where Big Show and The Rock ended. The famous ending.
That's right. They both.
The Rock actually touched his feet first. And then after that, he was kind of written into sort of tiny stories and stuff until the early 2003, I think 2003. His last match, I believe, was against Tommy Dreamer.
Tommy Dreamer, right? Cool.
Yeah, and then unfortunately, a couple of years after that, he had a heart attack, and that proved fatal. Of course, in reality. Yeah. And he passed away at 41.
Jeez, this goes
extremely young.
1 year older than what I am now. So Jesus.
Yeah. So he died very young, and his career was sort of short and punchy. But I think it's very memorable. I think he was a memorable character. This kind of, he was either the screw that you hate kind of thing.
He did have a couple of runs as hardcore champion, I believe.
Yes, he did. He had a quite a long tenure as hardcore champion.
Yeah.
For a while,
but never a main player. Never a.
No, he wasn't ever he was never top card. But he got close to top card when he was with the corporation. Yeah. Because he was obviously involved in a lot of the corporation top card matches against people like Taker, Stone Cold. One of the famous moments against Taker was when he was hung in the cage. He was hung up by his neck. By Taker, and that's grim.
It's mental. They just don't do stuff like that anymore, for quite rightly. So
it's such a clever spot that though. It was a WrestleMania 15, and it's a clever spot because that was when the corporation were feuding with the Ministry. I think it might have been before the Ministry actually. Because no, it was definitely with the Ministry because he had the Brood come down from the sky. That was right.
Cool.
He beat Big Show. He beat Boss Man, and then he beckoned to the skies, and Gangrel, Edge, and Christian descended on harnesses, landed on top of the cage. So they was the Brood then, and they chucked in this rope down. He puts it around Bossman's neck. He gets them to raise the cage up, and of course that raises Bossman up with it, hanging by his neck.
Pretty dangerous stunt.
Oh. Cleverly done, though.
Yeah.
Because obviously through that match, Trailer had a harness on.
I take it this was pre Owen Hart.
Yes, it was. Yeah. Yes.
1998 or something. Owen Hart died.
I always forget.
1999, something like that.
Well, WrestleMania 15 was 90 was it 99, 98, 98 or 99?
I'm not sure the timelines there. Whether that happened before. You'd like to think they wouldn't do stuff like that after the Owen Hart thing, Cause
they did. Well, WCW did. Yeah. They were still using harnesses with Sting and everything.
Yeah, but WWE, I don't.
Yeah. Well, I think they did, didn't they? I'm sure they did harnesses spots after Owen's death, didn't they?
I'm sure that part of the lawsuit or part of the kind of out of court settlement or whatever.
Yeah.
That the Hart family had with WWE was in the condition that they stopped doing that stunt.
Possibly. You're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd have to look it up, but I'm sure I'd watched a documentary or something on that, and I think they'd settled out of court or something like that. Viewers can correct me if I'm wrong here, because I'm just trying to do it from my limited memory, but I'm sure there was some sort of out of court thing where they took an argument, they told them to stop doing that, and then they paid, I think they gave the money to charity or something that they got.
Possibly, yeah. Possibly.
Yeah.
But yeah, he's always got a place in my legend status as boss man.
Yeah. Quite right. Good choice this week, Novabug, I must say.
Thank you. he actually, I've just read something which I didn't know. The year of his death, which was 2004, he was still wrestling. He never retired. He was wrestling for the IWAJ.
Oh, there
at that point.
Many of these wrestlers do still wrestle independent.
Yeah, well, a lot of them go over to Japan, don't they? So.
Yeah, so that's us. I think we maybe start wrapping it up.
I think so. Yes.
Yeah, we'll try to keep it a bit shorter this week.
Was it shorter? I'm not sure. I think we've still been blabbering for over an hour and 20 minutes.
Yeah, but it was a lot of that. At least 10 minutes of that was before we started the official.
Oh right, was it?
So,
okay.
Yeah,
well, now we've got that in the show. Well done. These are behind the scenes tricks, folks.
We'll edit that. We'll edit this bit out.
Shh. We don't edit. Shush. This is live. What are you talking about?
Live.
Oh no. We don't do it like Raw. We do it like SmackDown, do we?
Yeah, we do it like SmackDown. Yeah. So just to sum up, we've got Fastlane, Roadblock coming up, and that will be happening before our next episode. So we can't really dwell too much on that because we only know one of the matches officially. But just quickly before we go, I guess it's obvious, but Triple H against Ambrose. You think Triple H is going to win it?
Yeah, pretty sure.
Yes.
Pretty sure. I cannot see a surprise happening. It would be nice if a surprise did happen, because remember, it is stated for Roman Reigns. It says he gets to. They keep saying this as well. They keep saying he gets to main event with the champion.
Yeah.
They're not saying Triple H. They say the champion. So, maybe, I don't know, maybe he could suddenly heel turn after his beating of the hands of Trips. Yeah. Who knows?
Because all that talk we had in the last show about brother versus brother, are they going to go down that road? They might still go down that road.
Yeah, but I think that would be a winner.
Yeah.
If they did that, I think if Roman turned on Ambrose, I think that'd be a winner. But that's not going to happen because he's got this feud with Lesnar.
What about? Yeah, that's true. I was going to say, what about if somehow they work it into a triple threat for the main event at WrestleMania? Probably not.
Probably not. No, they won't do that. I can't see that happening.
So there you go. That's this week's Suck It Wrestling podcast, and we'll catch you next time. We will review this Roadblock pay-per-view.
Yeah, and let us know what you think of the podcast so far.
Yeah.
Anything you want us to talk about in future episodes? Any questions you got for us? We'll answer. We'll try to.
Or indeed, if you've got a favourite match from the past or a favourite legend you want to talk about, let us know that as well.
Yes. Yeah. And please share this.
Share it.
Share it like your arse depended on it.
Yes. Get it, as Michael Cole would say, let's get it trending.
Yeah. And if you're not down with